We're back in the shed. It's a Sunday. Ian couldn't get enough, so he's back.
Couldn't resist.
And we've acquired another one. This is Woody.
Yeah, see.
So yeah, we're just gonna crack on with this motor. I think we're gonna put the headers on, and then we might even try and cut the hole in the bonnet so we can get that off to paint. And yeah, maybe get a few accessories on, but we'll just see what happens. So we got the pacemaker headers. These are just off the shelf jobbies. They're quite a cool header. Yeah, so I got these ceramic coated in the black. So we're gonna hopefully get these on before we go and crank up all the bolts and stuff on the motor and trans, because we may need to do a bit of wriggling and shifting around with the motor. Alright, see how we get on. And a snag.
I think it's a starter motor out first.
So what are we thinking?
I'm thinking we need some more space. So starter motor has to come out on that side. Potentially thinking, I don't want the steering rack to come out, but maybe at least take out the joint between the rack and the column and see what that might give us a little bit more room, maybe. But we need room, we need space. Yeah. Drop rack, drop starter. Come on, buddy. Slide the headers in, make life easier for ourselves.
Sweet.
She still doesn't want to go. Trying to get the twist on her.
Sweet.
How's that side, Woody? That one might have a bit more room.
I think he's in.
Your side in?
It's gonna go. Yep.
Nice. Get some bolts.
Yep. Cheeky gasky on there.
Okay.
Alright, that's one side on, so we just have to drop the starter motor to get that on, but it slipped in pretty easily once that was off. But yeah, still having a bit of trouble with this side, so we might try feed it up from the bottom. Otherwise, we may need to tilt the motor or something. Right, we've got Ian going under, he's going to try and feed it up from the bottom.
Angle the dangle, baby. Come on. How's that looking, Woody? We're there.
Sweet, another one on. So that's the hack from the bottom. Here's her on, just putting on the fresh hardware. You on?
Yeah, that side's almost buttoned up.
Looks like there's still a good amount of clearance. Unlike our LS, you're dealing with millimeters down there. What now? Should we try this bonnet hack out?
I think before we get ahead of ourselves, we put back what we've taken off. So we'll get the rack back in, we'll get the starter motor and everything back in. I want to get the bolts and
Yeah.
I want to get the torque converter all tightened up, bolted up, trans, everything. I want to get everything bolted up that we've... Alright, I need the torque specialist over here. Oh, you want to...
So I've got a second bonnet so I can cut a hole in it. Reason being is that in New Zealand we have these stupid rules where we have to get a warrant of fitness every 6 months. So for you Australians, it's like getting a roadworthy every 6 months, and having a filter out the hood isn't technically legal in New Zealand. So you can get away with it if you get a engineer report, which is called a cert over here, and you can have it, but they're expensive and whatnot. So I'm just gonna run 2 bonnets to hopefully not need to get a cert. And if I do get pulled up on it, I can just switch the bonnet back out with my factory bonnet and yeah, go and get a warrant of fitness. All right, we're back in the shed. We've got a few hours spare this evening, so I'm just going to carry on with yeah, the motor install, just doing all the tedious bits, all the little bolt-ons and that sort of thing. So I'm just going to chip away really tonight. I want to get this bonnet on, maybe marked out, maybe even cut it tonight. I want to start piecing these bits and pieces together. Got to find a spot for a catch can, and I got to mount this trans cooler somewhere. So yeah, just going to chip away, just see how far I get tonight. Sweet, so I got the bonnet on there. Just going to pull this carby off and just lower it down to make sure all these gaps are all good. Pull this off, and then I'll take a few measurements and try and mark out where I got to make a hole in this thing. First time doing this, so hopefully I don't fuck it up, because I've only got one bonnet and they're not that easy to come by these days. Hey, I think it's pretty good to needs a bit of tweaking, but I think it's good enough to mark out for a hole anyway. Carby back on. And yeah, we'll take a few measurements and see where we end up. I was thinking I just hole saw there, make sure we are in the center, and then bolt the filter back on with my long ass stud that I've got. Not too confident about using this. It's I think it's bent, so I might try my step drill and just do a smaller hole. Oh, have a look at that. Not bad. So I'll chuck the filter on, and then yeah, mark her out. Make it a bit wider to allow for a bit of pinch mold or something to go around there. And then yeah, get this thing off to paint ASAP, so it's not holding us up to go and get this car legal again. Now I'm sure there's better ways of doing this, but I'm just doing this on the fly, so I think this is a pretty good way. But yeah, I'm sure there's measurements you can all do and blah blah blah, and you don't need to do this stuff, but hey, if it works, it works, so that's how I'm doing it. Okay, it's just the only thing I need to consider is clearance for opening the bonnet. So I might just go 20mm wider than the filter, and hopefully that'll be enough. I'm actually just trying to figure out how to make it 20mm wider without making it shit. So I've got another idea. Hopefully this idea works. So I got my wood. I'm gonna yeah, mark it out so it's 20mm wider than the filter. So the filter's 230 diameter. So yeah, I'm gonna cut it out to, what's that, 250 diameter. So yeah, giving it 20mm either side. And hopefully it looks about right. It's gonna be enough clearance to get the hood up. Sweet, so hopefully you get the idea of what I've done. That inside line is the size of the filter. So hopefully, yeah, giving it that extra 20mm is gonna be all it needs. So I can open and close the bonnet without it fouling. Looks like enough. There's no maths involved, it's just, yeah. Guess a bit of trial and error. So yeah, I'll cut that out, chuck the filter on, and hopefully we got enough clearance. We're gonna have to put a bit of a hole to that idea because I've only got this big gnarly timber blade on my jigsaw, so need to go to Bunnings, hopefully get down there tomorrow, super cheap. Get some metal blades, but yeah, put that on hold. I'm gonna carry on with some other bits and pieces. All right, we're back. We got some fresh blades. So wish me luck, I'm gonna start hacking out this hole. I must say, that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Let's give it a quick tester, see if she's gonna clear the filter. Not bad. Just gonna put the spacer on it now just to space it up, and I think that's pretty fucking good. Woo! That's pretty good. So that's how she's gonna sit. Oh, first look. I fucking like it. Oh, I do like it. Filter out the hood. Sick. Yeah, so it's gonna be a bit tight, but I think it'll work once that pinch weld goes along that edge there. It will make it a bit tight, but I can just reduce what size spacer I use here. Stoked. So yeah, I'll just clean up these edges, and that'll be ready to go to paint. Successful mission, I think. Cool, now that bonnet is done, we've pulled it off. It's ready to go to the paint man. I'm just gonna chip away at bits and pieces on this motor now. Just nut and bolt sort of stuff. Like fitting up the power steering, alternator, putting on the pulleys, the water pump, mounting the fuse box, running the wires where they go, just kind of bits and pieces. So not really worthy of making content out of anyway, but I will stop what I'm doing and yeah, just kind of give you an update as to how I get on with bits and pieces and if I have any snags or anything, but yeah, see how we go. Cool, it's been about an hour and I have got the alternator on. I have got the washer bottle, radiator overflow, power steering, the fuse box back in, the spark plugs, leads on, ran these wires to somewhat where they go, got the bottom pulley on, and yeah, that's about it so far. I'm just not super stoked on this alternator bracket. Like, it's just quite in your face. Yeah, there's so much room down in this bit, so I might try to get like a low mount bracket, because yeah, not too stoked on that. And for some reason, this little piece that goes in here is not quite right, so yeah, I might just leave it for now, get it all bolted up, trim that down. Yeah, but I'm probably going to get a low mount bracket system. So yeah, Aeroflow sell this cool fitting, little AN fitting that has a MPT thread just on there, so you can adapt a gauge. This one here, little fuel pressure gauge. So I'm just gonna, yeah, whack that on the back here and just run that gauge just so I can make sure I'm at the optimum. I think it is 6.5 PSI or maybe 7. Yeah, so this fuel pump, it ranges, come on focus, yeah, about 6 to 8 PSI. So hopefully, yeah, it's just reading what it needs to read, so I don't need to run a reg. But I may need to run a regulator yet, but we'll see how we go with this little setup first. So I'm gonna whack that on. And then, yeah, with these water pumps, I'm not gonna run the heater. So Aeroflow, once again, does this cool little bung somewhere. I've got them. I'll find them and I'll show you. But it's just pretty much a little rubber bung that you can whack on top, and it stops the water going to your heater. Now for a long time I always use thread tape, but I've just kind of got onto this thing, thread sealant. So yeah, I'm gonna start using that and see how that goes. So chuck it on these threads here and stick it in that that little hole there. Now, how easy is that? Boom. Then you can just whack your fuel line onto the back of there and done. Yeah, so Aeroflow do one of these little vacuum trees, just gets screwed onto the back of the intake, and then you can run your vacuum lines or bung off the ones you don't need. So yeah, there's a little spot in the back here. You just take that bung out. And then I'll put some tape on this, but yeah, then goes your tree, and that's how that works. So yeah, once again, just bang a bit of that thread sealant on there. Just had to whip the carby off, but yeah, that just cranks on in there. I found them, these little Aeroflow caps for your water pump header delete sort of thing. So yeah, they just plonk on there, push those on, bit of a pipe clamp, and yeah, done. Aeroflow. Alright, so that's a wrap for this weekend. I feel as though I have achieved enough to be satisfied. Getting that hole cut in the bonnet was probably the biggest thing for me to get done. And then yeah, I've literally just chipped away at bits and pieces. Yeah, I'm in no rush, so I just kind of chip away at shit. I enjoy spending my time in the shed, so any time in the shed is good time to me. But yeah, I need to order a few extra bits and pieces, like a couple of bungs. I want to change an alternator bracket. There are a couple more things, but that's it for now. So yeah, well, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.